All right, so Cheif Keef, that's a name y'all probably didn't expect to be making headlines in 2024, but Cheif Keef, King Sosa, the Glow Man, Big Gucci Sosa, he's in the news in 2024, and it all stems from this flyer that was posted online that says that Cheif Keef is going to be returning to Chicago to perform at Lyrical Lemonade's Summer Smash Festival alongside artists like Playboi Carti and Travis Scott. Now, why is this big news? Well, if you didn't know, Cheif Keef has infamously not returned to Chicago since he left about a decade ago and went to live in Calabasas, California. Bro been in the hills letting his belly build like an early 2000 Jonah Hill. But all jokes aside, his move to California was a good one because he's relatively had zero problems since he left Chicago. And in the meantime, we seen rappers getting dropped left and right in Chicago, the people that stayed, right? So if you ask me, it was a successful transition from Chicago to California because Cheif Keef's been able to retain the one thing that means the most in this world, life. But I woke up this morning and I seen this poster posted online saying that Cheif Keef was going to be coming back to Chicago to perform at this Lyrical Lemonade Festival at the Summer Smash. Now, the co-founder of Lyrical Lemonade, Berto Solario, actually talked to the Chicago Sun-Times and said that it's going to be a historic moment in Chicago music history when Sosa returns home to perform at Lyrical Lemonade. And I gotta agree, this probably going to be a historic moment for one reason or another. Now, Sosa set to take the stage on June 16th, which is Father's Day, about 2 months from now. And I gotta let it be known, y'all, I don't think this is a good idea at all. I think that there's numerous reasons why Cheif Keef should stay his ass in California and not bring it back to Chicago. And I'm gonna go over a couple of those numerous reasons right now. So number one is his previous history with Chicago's government. Now, we all know that Cheif Keef is one of them first drill rappers to really put drill rap on the map, right? Like, he's one of them people that blew the genre up as a whole. And throughout the years, a lot of people have accredited the war in Chirac and all the things that have happened there to Cheif Keef and his music that he was dropping. But it wasn't just his ops that didn't like him doing that. The government of Illinois didn't like him doing that. Specifically, the mayor of Chicago, Rahm Emanuel, who is the mayor of Chicago from 2011 to 2019. And from the very beginning, he had a tough on crime type of outlook. In fact, in his first 13 months in City Hall, he hired more than 1,000 new police officers and reassigned some from desk work to street work. And he did that in an effort to combat the soaring crime rate in Chicago, which again, a lot of people attributed to the drill music movement that was coming out.
We have a gang problem. And also kids raised with no sense of values when it comes to life, that they can indiscriminately shoot, gang-on-gang violence. And it's unacceptable. And as I said at that church, two very important messages. If a kid shot in Little Village or a kid shot in Englewood, that's a terror at our city. Nobody can walk around in our city and say, well, that's down there. That's over there. No, that's in our city. That's unacceptable because we have a great city with great people. Number two, it is about putting more police on the street and getting kids, guns, and drugs off the street. The access to guns are unacceptable, and we need a change in policies, which is why I've talked about that. We've empowered communities to shut down these liquor stores in the neighborhood, okay? But it is working on a strategy that takes guns out of gangs, puts gangs on notice, that these streets belong to our kids, belong to our families, they don't belong to you.
Yeah, so bro came into office with this mentality of we got to get the guns off the street. We got to stop the gang wars. That was his outlook on things. And so just like a lot of fans give Cheif Keef the credit for, you know, causing the drill movement, so did this dude. So he took aim at Sosa and did his best to shut him down. A good example of this beef that Cheif Keef was having with the government is when he planned to do a concert in 2015 in honor of one of his friends named Capo, real name Marvin Carr, who was gunned down. And there was also a 13-month-old baby that was killed during this incident too. So he decided he was gonna do this event in Chicago to raise awareness about violence and try to raise some money for his friend that had passed away, right? Now this is in 2015. A year previous to this, Cheif Keef basically had warrants issued for his arrest in Chicago, so he couldn't physically show up to do this concert. Instead, he was going to do it via a hologram projection. Now, this concert was supposed to take place at a place called Red Moon Theater in Chicago's Pilsen neighborhood, but it got canceled because pretty much as soon as it was announced, Keef started getting backlash from people. One of those people was a famed preacher from the area named Father Fledger, who basically told Cheif Keef to shut up. He wrote on Facebook saying Cheif Keef has announced that he will hold a benefit concert to raise funds for his friends and the baby who were killed this past weekend. Really? Cheif Keef is one of the reasons we have all this violence. He's been one of the encouragers of the violence. Instead of having a concert, why doesn't he man up and acknowledge it's time to stop the violence and apologize for his part in it? We don't need a concert. We need peace. 7 dead and 24 shot this weekend, and he wants to do a concert. Cheif Keef, shut up. And I mean, this became such a big deal that even the news ran this story.
A suspect now has been charged in connection with the death of a toddler over the weekend. And a Chicago rapper is causing controversy with his plans for a benefit concert for that child's family. Eyewitness News reporter Michelle Gallardo is in the ABC 7 Media Center with more on that story. Michelle?
Linda, in court today, prosecutors said that 21-year-old Antoine Watkins has admitted to driving the car that fatally struck Dylan Harris's stroller on Saturday. He is being held without bond. Meanwhile, rapper Cheif Keef is being called out on his decision to hold a benefit concert for Harris's family.
Let's help get rid of the violence. Don't think a concert is then going to wipe away what you do every day that supports the violence.
Father Michael Flager today lashed out at Chicago rapper Cheif Keef after the artist, known for glorifying guns and violence, said he would hold a concert via hologram this Friday to benefit the family of 13-month-old Dylan Harris, who died over the weekend when a vehicle seen fleeing the scene of a fatal shooting involving one of Keef's associates jumped the curb at 63rd and Ellis, striking the toddler's stroller. Peace activist and rap artist Jessica Disu, also known as FM Supreme, echoed Flager's sentiments.
Change starts within, so if he really wants the violence to stop, then he needs to stop making that type of music. And it's a road to redemption, a road to recovery.
In a statement issued through his record label, Cheif Keef, who now lives in California, defended his decision to hold the benefit by saying, "I see the love in my son's eyes, and I know that I have changed the things I value. My cousin getting killed was the biggest lesson. I know he would want me to be a better person and do better."
Yeah, so bro immediately gets pushed back on this idea of this benefit concert, and the location that was gonna hold it, the Red Moon Theater, decided that they were gonna cancel the show because, quote unquote, they did not understand the full nature of the event. Once Keef got the news of it, he decided that he was gonna put the hologram show on anyways, and said that he was gonna move it to a secret location. That way it couldn't be shut down. Now, the mayor responded to this and basically said that Cheif Keef was an unacceptable role model for the youth, said that he promotes violence, and that this concert posed a significant risk to public safety. And he basically said that he wasn't gonna allow Cheif Keef to perform or appear in person or via hologram, and said that if he did, he was gonna shut the whole thing down. Well, Cheif Keef did eventually perform as a hologram at the Craze Fest on July 25th of that year, and just minutes after he took the stage, the show was effectively shut down.
Chicago has banned a rapper by the name Cheif Keef, and apparently Rahm Emanuel, who is the mayor of Chicago, is not a huge fan of Cheif Keef because of his criminal record. Now, not only is he banned in Chicago, he seems to be banned in the entire state of Illinois. And recently, during Craze Fest, Cheif Keef wanted to perform in order to raise some money for one of his friends, who was also a rapper, who was shot and killed in a shooting, and also a 13-month-old who was killed as the shooter was trying to get away. Now, what's incredible about this is the second he got on stage, well, he didn't get on stage, the second his hologram got on stage, the entire festival was shut down. So let me give you the details about that. Last weekend, a Chicago theater called off a similar show after representatives for Mayor Rahm Emanuel's office deemed Cheif Keef an unacceptable role model whose music promotes violence and whose presence via hologram posed a significant public safety risk.
Oh, come on, let's just stop. Are you crazy? He says he's a, quote, as you just read, Anna, an unacceptable role model. That's like your opinion, man.
the promoter, I should say, for the entire event that got shut down, said the following: "No one ever gave me a reason why they didn't want the hologram to appear. They didn't have a real reason. They believed that it would start trouble. But the first thing Cheif Keef said via hologram was, 'Chicago, we need to stop the violence. Let our kids live.'"
Yeah, so clearly they didn't want Cheif Keef in Chicago in any capacity, even if it was virtually in Chicago. So they shut the whole show down, and it started a whole beef between Cheif Keef and the mayor. And Cheif Keef went on Twitter. This is infamous. Y'all may remember this. He went on Twitter and sent out a tweet that said, "I'm running for mayor of Chicago. Vote for me. It'll be the best thing you've done yet. Y'all gonna love me in the office." Just kind of throwing his little jabs at the mayor. And I know this was getting on the mayor's nerves because bro couldn't even do press conferences without getting asked about Keef.
Are you worried about a challenge from Cheif Keef, the rapper? He tweeted that he is running for mayor now.
Well, let me say this. My unsolicited advice is that he should think hard, fast and hard about the residency requirement as somebody with experience on it. So, yeah.
So last I heard, Cheif Keef still had legal trouble in Chicago. Like, he never did settle those warrants, and California was refusing to extradite him to Chicago. Now, I don't know if he got that settled or what. I would imagine that he did, or he wouldn't be going to Chicago, right? I don't know. Maybe he's risking it. Maybe he still does have warrants and he thinks he's just gonna pop in and pop out. But reason number one why I don't think that Cheif Keef should be doing this concert is because you got beef with the government, my boy. You got beef with the police, dog. Like, you can't trust them to keep you safe. You can't rely on security and the police to have your back. The police in Chicago scared as shit. Like, they solving 1% of murders that happen in that city right now, bro. They can't help you when you get to Chicago. And that brings me into reason number two why I think Cheif Keef shouldn't be performing in Chicago. And that's because of your street beef. Not only can the police not protect you, bro, but like, you can't expect the streets to protect you neither. He was at the forefront of the drill music. Cheif Keef got real ops. I know he been out in Calabasas living it up and he done changed his life. He ain't involved no more, but you got to think about it. He's going back to a city where he's got real ops at. Like, people still want his head. He made it out. He done forgot about it, but they ain't forget about Cheif Keef getting on them tracks and dissing Tuka. They not forgetting it, bruh. And going back to what the promoter of this Lyrical Lemonade event said, the co-founder said that this is going to be a historical moment in Chicago history when Cheif Keef comes back to Chicago. And I said, you know what? He probably not wrong. But he probably thinks that it's going to be like a celebratory event when Cheif Keef touches down to do this show. I don't think that's what it's going to be. Like, there's 100% of possibility that Cheif Keef don't walk into a celebration, but just walks into a bunch of gunfire. Like, this is a risk and reward type of situation. You gotta weigh the risk against the reward. So what's the risk? Well, we know the risk. The risk is you could lose your motherfucking life going up here trying to do this concert. The reward is what? You get to prove people wrong. You get to prove that you a real street dude. You get to say you stood on business. You get a little bit of show money for doing it. Like, that's the reward. This Chicago we talking about, bruh. This where the ops will hit you as you leaving jail. The ops will hit you while you standing at the bus stop. The ops will hit you while you leaving a party. Like, let's not act like they can't get somebody at a concert. We've seen rappers die at concerts before. Think about Draco the Ruler. Now, I'm not saying that's what's gonna happen to Cheif Keef, but that is the risk. Like, he's actually risking his life to make this thing happen. And I know a lot of people gonna say, bro, you just put negative energy out in the world. But like, nah, I'm being realistic. This is something that could happen. And I think the world would be more beneficial for Cheif Keef if they was telling him like, nah, bro, don't go back to do this little simple ass concert. You been good where you at. Just stay good where you at. Ain't no reason to risk it. And I know some of y'all gonna be like, bro, he not gonna hang around. He probably just gonna pop in, do the concert, and be gone immediately. But at the same time, he can't trust law enforcement. We already covered that. You also got ops that live in Chicago. They got family. You don't know who's gonna be working this event, who's gonna be doing the security. You don't know who's gonna be running the door. If they gonna let somebody sneak something in. People sneak stuff into clubs and concerts all the time. You never know what's gonna happen. It's the unpredictable nature of it. So they post this flyer up announcing that this concert is gonna go down. And bro, you know, the moment that they posted, this motherfucker started plotting. They started mapping out blueprints of how they gonna make this thing happen. I guarantee it. And I ain't wishing nothing bad on Cheif Keef. Like, don't get me wrong. I don't want nothing bad to happen to Cheif Keef. But let's not act like it can't happen. Look at what they did to Duck, bro. Duck was standing in front of the Gucci store in a luxurious part of town. And a whole small army showed up to do what they did to him, bro. And with Cheif Keef having such a big name like he has, bro, I guarantee it's people that ain't even his ops willing to crash out to say that they the ones that did it. All it take is one dumbass to end your whole life. So that's the second reason why I think he shouldn't be returning to Chicago. The first reason is, bro, you got beef with the government. The police don't like you. The second reason is you got beef with the people that live there. You got ops. They don't like you. Like, it's a risk on both sides. Who are you expecting to protect you? So I don't think that Cheif Keef should do this. And I know people gonna say they got the metal detectors at the beginning of the show. Like, you gonna have to go through security to get in. But let's not act like people can't catch Cheif Keef when he's coming in or coming out. You still gotta be in Chicago, bro. You still have to physically be in that location. You have to get out your car. You have to get back in your car and leave and drive somewhere. You probably gonna go to the airport. It ain't hard to map a route for people. I'm just saying, this don't look like a good idea to me for Cheif Keef to go do this. And then if he does go and do it and say something does happen, let's say shots do ring out and people get hit, who's gonna be to blame? Is it gonna be blood on the hands of the promoters who brought Cheif Keef back and paid him to come back, who knew that this was a possibility? Is it gonna be Cheif Keef's fault? Is it gonna be the people who's letting the shots off fault? Where does the buck lay if it does go wrong is what I'm saying. But that's my thoughts on it. Chicago, y'all get ready to see Cheif Keef. He coming in 2 months. He gonna be there on Father's Day, the 16th. And I guess we just gonna have to see how it goes, bro. Like I said, I don't know if he still got warrants pending. I mean, if he does, the police liable to get him before he can even go do the show. Now you sitting in jail with your ops, which is even worse. But I don't know if he figured that whole situation out and that's why he's going back. But it's just not a good situation. There's no reason to go back. Like, Cheif Keef could drop music. He could do shows elsewhere and make money elsewhere. Ain't no reason to do this particular show is all I'm saying. But y'all gotta let me know what y'all think about it in the comments below. Anyways, that's it for the video, guys. If you enjoyed the content, be sure to hit the like button, subscribe, tap the notification bell so you get notified every time I upload a video. As always, it's been fun rocking with y'all, man. I'm out.